What up, guys? It's the Chinist. Today is March 21st, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my massive haul here of 29 with 24 different titles. So yeah, starting off on the Marvel side this time, I was able to pick up the trading card of Weapon H. This is the #1. You know, he's already been introduced in the Weapon X and was a Totally Awesome Hulk crossover. You know, that was an okay introduction to this character. So I picked up the trading card, and I also picked up the retail incentive for this one as well. So yeah, man, happy to do that. So this title itself, so Greg Pak, the author on this title, and I can't recall if he did the Weapon X crossover storyline as well. But, you know, I thought he really kicked this one off pretty well here, you know, as far as explaining, you know, how this Weapon H character came to be, as well as kind of tying up that the storyline. If you did not if you did not pick up that previous Weapon H story arc that came out in Weapon X title, this really ties it up right here, in my opinion. So, you know, don't worry if you did not see how he was introduced. You kind of, you know, go into this one pretty fresh and start getting some character development right off the bat. So yeah, man, I really like this guy so far. You know, he, of course, he's military trained, and he was kind of like hired by, I think they were like third party. He was supposed to go in there and, like, you know, massacre an entire village. He chose not to, and he actually killed off all of his squad mates who were actually doing that. And anyways, and that's how this guy got into the Weapon X program. Man, excellent stuff. So he's totally in control when he, you know, quote unquote hulks out. So this battle against the Wendigo was, man, pretty good, man. Pretty epic battle here. So yeah, guys, if you have not checked out Weapon H yet, check it out. You know, at first I thought it was kind of gimmicky, in my opinion, but you know, I think they did a really good job in developing the character, you know, the human who this Weapon H really is. All right, another hot title that's out there right now. So Thanos, I picked up 2 cover A's, and I picked up this this cover B variant. Man, I thought it was pretty cool. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, I picked it up. I kind of swap these around. So yeah, so this is a title that I typically do not pick up, but it's been so hot, you know, I went ahead and picked up a few of the floppies on speculation. I love Donny Cates so far. You know, almost everything he's written I've really enjoyed, but I was going to pick this one up in trade. But since it's so hot, you know, again, I've decided to pick it up in floppies. Guys, if you have not, if you are reading this and you don't want any spoilers, like this, you know, it's epic battle, you know, right off the bat. So spoilers are indeed coming. So yeah, so you know, the big thing was the Cosmic Ghost Rider and the Silver Surfer. You have a couple Thanos from a couple different timelines who are all kind of fighting. Man, this all culminated to this one issue, this epic battle, man. People just die left and right, man. It's great stuff, man. Cosmic is down. You'll see later on. I'm not going to flip through the whole thing, but man, excellent deaths that really occur here in this one issue. So man, epic battle here in this last Thanos #17. Good stuff. All right, next up from Marvel, we have XMen Gold. So again, I'm picking up all the X-Men titles out there right now. You know, really enjoy them all. You know, some of them have, you know, peaks and valleys, of course. And so from title to title, you know, sometimes one month is hot, the other is not. But overall, I really enjoy all the titles out there right now. So this Gold team, of course, they've been incarcerated, and they're kind of dealing, you know, with a prison without their powers. So very, very good. You know, I like how, you know, you take that. I love everyone to have powers, but it's kind of cool for, you know, for them to go through some challenges every now and again. So yeah, man, pretty cool battle that occurs here. You know, Iceman's always been one of my favorites. So yeah, great stuff. X-Men Gold. All right, Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows. Love this title really because, you know, as I said before, it's anime, and the family aspect that you kind of get out of this. So she kind of teams up with a couple classmates who end up being mutants, and you know, she's going to go do her own thing with these classmates, kind of go, you know, like a little mission, so to speak. Her father's not going to know about it, Spider-Man. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. You know, it's just kind of like a teenager's kind of learning how to, you know, grow up in life, but she has superpowers to deal with at the same time. Yeah, love this title. All right, another hot title out there right now by Marvel, The Avengers, man. So No Surrender title, this is number 11. Great stuff so far. Again, I'm going to try to just collect all the floppies just because it's so hot right now. just the collector in me, man, I gotta have it if it's selling out. But I want to try to read all the storyline together and trade. So, man, great stuff. In this one, I am quasi aware that they're trying to stop the immortal Hulk at this point in time. So it's like a lot of Avengers who are out to fight him. I won't show you what happens to the Vision, but this was a great fight right here. So yeah, guys, if you're not picking up this one title, highly suggest to pick it up. If you're a collector, go find these floppies. But man, great storyline so far that I'm aware of. Check it out and trade. All right, Star Wars. So, this is a title that, I've always said if you are a true Star Wars fan, you should really pick it up because, all these titles that Star Wars is coming out with, it's all canon. So, this all happens. They tie in like all the current movies that are out there. Really, really good stuff. I would say that this one issue is really, a lot about diplomacy. And, a little bit of a sleeper for me. I really don't like a lot of the diplomatic type of issues are out there. A lot of stuff like Game of Thrones. A lot of stuff that happens in the background. Not too much of a fan. So this was kind of a sleeper issue for me personally. So I would say skip this one if you're looking for action. All right, the Mighty Thor. So this is coming to a conclusion for the death of the Mighty Thor, which is Jane Foster. So Thor is another title I typically do not pick up, but I actually, pick up from time to time and kind of peek in to see what's going on in the storyline. I really enjoy what Jason Aaron has done with Jane Foster, the female Thor. At first, that was like another character I felt was like really gimmicky. Jane Foster became Thor right when I was kind of coming back into comics, I think she may have done it like at 2015. I came in 2016. So, I went back, I picked up, number 1 through like 12 or so just to have, those back issues. But, just kind of following the storyline here and there. Man, I read through this issue. Man, this was, she, the ultimate sacrifice. She went through this entire epic battle, the struggle between every time she picked up the hammer, her chemotherapy that she was going through as Jane Foster as a human would go away. And it came down to this final battle against Mangog, to where if she picked up the hammer one more time to become Thor, there was no way, she could never become human again because she would die. Well, she picked up the hammer and through this epic battle, and this battle was epic. You see that she loses the hammer, and she actually, I won't show the very last page, but Jane Foster may not be with us, anymore, in according to that last page. So, man, great epic storyline, that Jason Aaron has put together for Jane Foster. Good stuff. All right, one that I did not enjoy, too much this week, Ironman Hong Kong Heroes. So, I'm half Chinese, to get that out there. So, I like to, any type of Asian characters, kind of like to see what they're trying to do with them. For the most part, there's a lot of Asian characters I do not like. Amadeus Cho, man, I love that guy. I love his sarcastic attitude. New Superman from the DC side, enjoyed that. Was not too fond of this storyline here with this new character that they introduced here. She picks up a Iron Man suit. Was not a fan of the artwork either. I really only give this one maybe like a 1.5 out of 5. I was not a fan whatsoever of the storyline nor the artwork. This is a complete hard pass for me, guys, in my opinion. All right, on to DC. So, Justice League went back and forth. Brian Hitch, did not do, mediocre at best. Priest has been doing a great job, in my opinion. There's a lot of people who, feel it's still on the fence. I think his humor, especially in this first page where Simon Boz is talking about when he was invited to lunch by Superman in I think it's 5 or 6 issues ago, and they bring it up every issue. And I just think that's hilarious. I enjoy his humor and the scientific side that he kind of brings into the battles. I really enjoy the storytelling by Priest, in my opinion, man. I think he's really knocking it out of the park. I wish the artwork was just a little bit better, with the change in the writing. But, I hear they're going to be rebooting all this anyway, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Justice League, and I really felt, so this is like introducing the Red Lion. I think this is a new character, and straight up ripoff of the Black Panther. Straight up. Oh my gosh. All right. Next up from DC, this is one that's going to be canceled in 2 more issues. At number 16, they're going to cancel this one. But yeah, Super Sons, man, I love this title. I love Damian. I love Jonathan. Man, those two and the banter between the two together, man, it's just epic, man. I just love this title. Unfortunate that they're going to be canceling it, but I hear they're going to be using the characters, still together somehow, in another title. So happy they're going to keep them together, And this one issue was, man, great stuff, man. Just, the camaraderie between the two. They do like a little quick saving Lois Lane from Damian's mom, actually, Talia al Ghul. So yeah, and so happen they have like the hottest moms like in the world at the same time. So yeah, 2 guys, man. So yeah, Super Sons. All right, next up, Batman Sins of the Father. So, apparently this came from the Telltale video game side of things. So that one issue, issue number 1, it kind of, intrigued me, it captured me. Overall premise, back in the day, Bruce Wayne's father, I forgot his name right now. What was the guy's name? Anyways, he, apparently he was a bad guy. He put all these people into Arkham Asylum by forcing drugs on them. And, at this point in time, it became public, and Bruce Wayne is kind of taking the blame, and, this is how he deals with it. This second issue, which had more action in this one, you had a little bit of a, I forgot his name, not Deadpool. What is his name? Anyways, I'll think about it. But, anyway, a little bit more action in this one, but this one did not really capture me. I think I may move on to trade in this one. I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts about this title? All right, next up from DC, we have Future Quest. So this is kind of like a DC showcase type deal where they kind of cycle through storylines of the different characters in the universe. So Mighty Thor, they kind of rebooted him to be African American, gave him like a little bit different background from the Hanna-Barbera character that came out in the 60s. So yeah, cool, no issue doing that, man. I think they did a really good job in the backstory. I enjoy the character, a little bit, not a smart ass, but he's very, very confident. Not overconfident, but just really confident. So I really like that. So yeah, I enjoyed the fighting in this one, pretty good action in this one, and good dialogue. So again, if you are a fan of the older Hanna-Barbera cartoon world, I would suggest to pick up this title. All right, next up from DC, we have Damage. So, this one was one to where, Hulk ripoff. I disagree. I really felt that this character was a standalone. I really enjoyed Damage. And I'm sorry, this is number 3. Yeah, that issue number 1 and 2, I really enjoyed so far. This one was a very, very good, decent battle against Damage and Wonder Woman. So this 2-page splash kind of explains, kind of lays out this this battle here. But man, great stuff, man, great stuff. There is no, victor in the very end. They kind of like, part ways, but you kind of remember why Wonder Woman is such a badass, in times like this. So yeah, great stuff. Damage. Okay, next up from DC and IDW, we have Batman and TMNT, and this is volume number 2. Excellent stuff. If you enjoyed that first title, I highly suggest for you to pick up this second one, if not in floppies, in trade. So this one kind of deals, you have Donatello, who has taken the venom, the Bane venom, and he's, hulked out. He is a complete badass. He's just kind of ripping through the Foot Clan, it's kind of shredding them up left and right. Excellent stuff, but you kind of see the aftermath. You kind of see Batman and I think Leonardo kind of like broke in there, trying to stop him, trying to get him away from the Bane, kind of let him know what the dangers are. So yeah, a lot of good action in here. Of course, you have Bane trying to take over Manhattan right now is what's going on. But yeah, a lot of good action. Like a lot of good character development at the same time, even though we know all these characters already. So yeah, good storytelling. All right, changing over to IDW, we have the Spider King. So yeah, this title, I'm sorry, the story in this one, I really enjoy. So you have like a kind of like a little hodgepodge of Vikings, meeting aliens here on Earth. And, great job on the storytelling so far. I am just not a fan of the artwork, side of things. I could get through it, because it is a good story, but, I don't know, man, it could have, it could have had so much more potential in my opinion. even though we're only at number 2. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So you have like a second alien kind of coming in. They haven't explained it yet, but I feel that he's an alien trying to hunt down that spider alien who kind of started wrecking havoc, on Earth, on a couple of the other Viking villages. But yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy that little genre mashup, the Spider King. Alright, next up, Killer Be Killed. Man, I love this title. This was one to where I kind of skipped the very beginning when it first came out. Picked up in trade and went back and got, all the floppies. Man, I am, a true fan of this title. So you have the main hero, he has another plan to actually kill one of the orderlies who's in the prison with him. Kind of caught him kind of like groping, a patient. And this is kind of like him kind of planning out how he's going to do it. At the same time, you have the copycat vigilante who apparently has died. He got into like a police standoff and that guy is dead. So we're going to see what happens, because he kind of confessed that he was a vigilante, but you had the copycat out there who kind of, discredited what he was saying while he was in this mental prison. So we'll find out what happens. Man, the storyline of him being in the mental prison right now, great stuff, man. It did not get stagnant whatsoever. A lot of action's going on. So yeah, Killer Be Killed. Love this title. Alright, next up we have Moonshine by Brian Azzarello. So yeah, he's doing a pretty good job on a couple of these monster titles out there right now. So again, this one's kind of based on the werewolf side of things. You have the main character who he was up north, and I think he was traveling to Louisiana, and he kind of got captured, and he's in prison. He's in a chain gang. They also introduced this other, I guess he's kind of like a Van Helsing type of character. I think he's a priest, the way he's kind of talking, but apparently he's a werewolf hunter. So they kind of give you like a little glimpse of this guy. So this guy's apparently going to be a badass, and he's going to be hunting down our main character here. So yeah. Good stuff. If you like werewolves, check out this title. Alright, next up from Image again, we have Regression. So this is like that weird title, it's kind of like weird artwork, if you're looking for like, type of like dream imagery type of storyline, with that weird storyline. This one kind of fits the bill. This one kind of overall premise, you have these couple humans who have lived like many, many lives. They do die and they get reincarnated. It takes them a while to figure out sometimes that they were reincarnated, and they're kind of giving you like the history of the group at this point in time. So this is like an extreme slow burn to even get to this point. But man, this title's really turned around in my opinion. So yeah, Regression. You may want to check this one out in trade to try to get that storyline kind of all together on this one. Alright, next up from Image we have Death of Love. So this is by Justin Jordan. He wrote a couple of the other titles that are, Strange Tales of Luther Strode. Man, I loved that entire, those 3 volumes that came out, that entire journey that the guy went on. Man, great stuff. So I try to give Justin Jordan a lot of, whatever he puts out there, I try to pick it up. There's a lot of things that I did not like, or not a lot, but a few titles I did not like. This one I did indeed enjoy so far. So yeah, a lot of good humor that's here. I think the artwork in this this title is very, very decent, man. So I put maybe a 4.25 out of 5 on the artwork here. Man, great premise here. So, there's this drug to where if you take the drug, you see these cupids. And, this guy finds out in the background these cupids are always there. They shoot him, with these arrows, just like in these cartoons that you always saw. And, they explain like how it messes with like the human brain, why love is the way it is. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But you find at the very end that all these cupids are going to be coming after this main character for a reason. So yeah, man, I really enjoy this title. Like a humorous type of title that I was not expecting. So yeah, really enjoy it. If you're looking for a different type of humor, try to check this one out. Death of Love. Alright, next up from Image we have Ice Cream Man. So I was able to pick up, this is the cover B, and this is the cover A. So I really like that, the cover B. I like that the Ice Cream Man character that they kind of promote here. So he's kind of like the Crypt Keeper in a sense. So this one was a little bit different. So most of the previous 2 issues have kind of followed like 2 storylines. They kind of like merged together with the Ice Cream Man kind of being like the focal point. This one kind of deals only on one storyline. So this is the longest single issue storyline that we've seen so far from Ice Cream Man. A little bit different. This is more of like a, a little bit more of a dream stage type of issue here versus the others that have come out the past 2 issues. You know, me being a musician, you know, I play drums, I played guitar as well. This guy used to write music. He kind of like, he's way past his peak, and, you know, kind of makes a deal with the devil, you know, so to speak. And yeah, so this one's a little bit more fanciful, you know, a little bit more dream-like, you know, compared to the other issues. But man, great issue nonetheless. If you enjoy horror, I would say, you know, pick this one up. It's a little bit different, and you know, I've enjoyed it so far. Okay, next up from Image again, we have Kickass. So this is kind of like a reboot of that Kickass that we used to know. She is female, she has military-based type of skills, a little bit more realistic. I know the Kickass was realistic, you know, but I don't know, this one seemed to have, you know, a little bit different feel to it, in my opinion. However, I would say, you know, beyond this first initial battle, or, you know, action scene that happens in the first couple pages, you know, this one did not capture me as much as number 1 did, to tell you the truth. I actually may, you know, switch over to trade on this one, just based on this number 2 issue. I enjoy it, but yeah, I'm going to actually thumb through that number 3 to see if I want to pick it up or not. So I may be crossing over to trade on this one. Okay, next up from Aftershock, Babyteeth. Yet another Donny Cates title. Man, I love this title. So this one was a little bit of a slow burn. It took a while to get to some, you know, quick action, so to speak. But man, once it was there, it was there. And this, and again, this is issue number 9. I would say this is the absolute most action-packed issue, you know, to date. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that kind of happen. You know, a lot of battle scenes that kind of go on here. Excellent, excellent stuff. You lose one of the main characters as well. So I won't give away who that is, but yeah, a lot of critical things happen in this one issue. Excellent stuff, guys. If you're looking, again, another horror type of storyline that's out there, Babyteeth. Okay, this one is just pure nostalgia. So this is from Titan Comics. So, you know, I grew up, you know, watching Robotech. I love the Transformers. I love anything like Japanese robo type of feel to it. So, you know, I fell in love with Robotech. This was my most favorite character, Max Sterling. You know, he was like the complete badass on the military side. He was the best fighter that they had. So yeah, so I picked up the toy variant, but I am still, you know, I read through this one. I am still not a fan of either the artwork nor of the storyline overall. You know, from what I've read, I picked up number 1 and 2. Man, was just not into it. You know, it is nostalgic, but the storyline and art was not there enough for me to, you know, keep that interest there. So yeah, but picked it up just due to my favorite character there. All right, last up from Vertigo, we have Deathbed. Man, that Deathbed number 1 completely surprised me. I never thought it would be, you know, what the storyline was and, you know, how it was. So you have this one, the main character. It's hard to describe who he is. He's kind of like Indiana Jones. You know, he's done like all these badass like missions. He's been all over the world. He's you know, up there in age at this point in time, but he's still, you know, very active. And this one issue kind of deals with a previous, we'll say, ex-lover, you know, so to speak. And he's kind of reminiscing. He kind of, you know, goes to her funeral, and he kind of reminisces of, you know, how he knew her, and the way that he talks about her, like in front of her family. It's just hilarious. So again, this is really for adults. There's a lot of sexual oriented type of themes that are kind of going on here, but hilarious stuff, man. Good comedy. So yeah, that's going to be it for this week's massive haul. Guys, should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.